Welcome into 5 Wide for week 3 of NFL props and locks. Last week, great week, 3-0 here on the YouTube channel. That's through the first 2 weeks. We were 5-1 with player props, sides, totals. This week I've got 2 player props as well as a side. If you guys do enjoy this video, if I've helped you make some money to start the NFL season, would really appreciate if you did hit that like button, and as well, please do subscribe to the channel. Really the best ways to support us. Again, 3 plays here. We're going to start in Browns. Who do the Browns have this week? The Browns and the Titans. I've got a player prop in this game. I'm on Jerome Ford under 45.5 rushing yards here in this matchup. The Titans' run defense is the best in the NFL, in my opinion, and they have been impossible to run on for both of their opponents so far, and I don't expect that to change this week. The Chargers last week ran for just 61 yards on 21 carries. They averaged 2.9 yards per carry against this Titans run front. Josh Kelly, 13 rushes, 39 yards. And then we also have a matchup in week 1 for this Titans team against the Saints. The Saints were arguably even worse. 26 rushing attempts for just 69 yards, 2.7 yards per carry. And Jamal Williams, the leader here for that backfield in week 1, 18 carries, 45 yards. So both of these backs went under this number. Now, this is a short number, obviously, but again, this is a very good Titans run defense. They're 4th in EPA per rush so far this season. And for Ford, I talked about this earlier if you guys were checking out the YouTube Shorts channel. Ford hasn't been very efficient on a down-to-down basis so far this year. 142 yards and 43 carries is 4.2 yards per carry. But one of those runs, half of his production, has come on one play, a 69-yard run against the Steelers on Monday night. And it was one where the play kind of broke down and he had to go the complete opposite direction of where the entire offensive line was moving to turn that into a big explosive play. So not really a predictable play on a down-to-down basis. So you take away that run. Otherwise, he's averaging 2.4 yards per carry, and he isn't playing the run defense that this one is. Like the Steelers, not an elite run defense by any means, looking like, especially when they were without Cam Hayward on Monday. Now you get the Titans, and I think he's going to run extremely inefficiently. I think the Browns will be forced to lean on the pass, much like the Saints did and the Chargers did against this Titans team. And then we have the opportunity and the unknown of Kareem Hunt's role in this offense, because this is a player that can step in immediately with his familiarity with the offense. He obviously was with the Browns not too long ago, understands Stefanski's scheme. I think he's definitely going to be on the field right away. Sure, Ford might be the number 1 guy, but this particular game isn't one where I expect him to be efficient whatsoever, so love his under 45.5 rushing yards. Next up, we go to a receiver here in Michael Pittman. The Colts have a matchup with the Ravens in week 3. And they're expected to be without, actually just confirmed about an hour ago, to be without Anthony Richardson on Sunday. So that means Gardner Minshew at quarterback. And I think that's I think it is a good thing for Michael Pittman and this prop to be able to go over it, because we are going to see more of a traditional passing game. You won't see a quarterback like Gardner Minshew using his legs as much as Anthony Richardson does. So that could benefit Pittman. And as well, the passing volume should be high in this game. Not only are the Colts a massive underdog over more than a touchdown, I think 8.5 points right now, the Ravens are also an elite run defense. They're 9th right now in EPA per rush. The last couple of seasons, they've been near the top of the league in rushing yards allowed. Right now, they're averaging 3.6 yards per attempt. So running the football with a less than talented Zach Moss is not going to be an efficient way to move this offense. And if they're trailing, they're probably not going to be running the ball very often. So I do like what they can do in the passing game, especially when you consider the fact that the Ravens are without both Marlon Humphrey and Marcus Williams, 2 of their leaders in the secondary. And I'm surprised because no team has been able to really take advantage of it yet, including the Bengals, who've been struggling. But for Pittman, love the matchup for him because of those absences. And he's been a focal point of this passing attack. Look at the numbers here. 5th in targets with 21. 5th in receptions with 16. He's got a 32.9% target share, which is 5th at the position. So he's been dominating for this Colts offense. Definitely like him to continue to do that. He's gone over this number in both games this year. And I think what you want to do when you're targeting this offense is look to a receiver on the outside to kind of, for Pittman, he's going to be going up against, those backups that are stepping in for these replacements, as opposed to attacking anyone from the slot that could be going up against a super talented Roquan Smith and a good linebacking core from the Ravens. So attacking on the outside, because Minshew should have plenty of time to throw the football, because the Ravens don't have much of a pass rush in my mind. So definitely helpful for him. Love Pittman to go over 55.5 receiving yards. Okay, last and final play. One that it's probably going to be tough for you to be able to get behind, but these are the types of of bets I do think that, win on NFL Sunday when everybody's thinking one side, head on over to the other. And to me, that this week, that's the Broncos. The Broncos are 6.5-point underdogs against the Dolphins on the road here. Found a couple of great trends when it comes to 0-2 teams and 2-0 teams. So 2-0 teams that are 2-0 and the favorites in week 3 are only hitting a 44% rate against the spread. And then as well, 0-2 teams are hitting a 56% rate in week 3. These numbers come since 2005, so the last 18 years or so. So we got a good amount of data here that tells us the 0-2 teams in week 3 usually find ways to bounce back and find a way to at least cover. And for favorites that are 2-0, they might be a little bit overpriced. And that's what I think we have here. 6.5 points, I think, is a lot in this game when you consider the fact that this Miami team, yes, they've won both of their games to start the season, but they've won both of these games by one possession. So these are games that they haven't been running away with, and they need to do that to be able to win this game by at least 7 points. And what I like here, the Broncos' pass defense has struggled quite a bit so far to start the year, but I trust the talent they have in that room. When you're talking about Pat Surtain, Kareem Jackson, Justin Simmons, I like those matchups against obviously a freaky passing attack that Mike McDaniel and the Dolphins have with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. A guy like Pat Surtain is probably one of the best corners in the NFL right now. So a matchup with him and Tyreek Hill will be must watch in this game. But what I do like being able to cover the spread here for the Broncos is I think they'll find success running the football. Miami is dead last in EPA against the run. They're allowing 5 yards per carry. If you're giving up this kind of production in the rushing game from your opponents, it's going to be really hard to run away with football games because the Broncos are a team that could dominate time of possession to keep themselves in this one. The Broncos offense has kind of been has been fine. It found plenty of points against the Commanders last week. It doesn't look terrible. Russell Wilson isn't turning the ball over as much as he was last season. So if you take care of the ball, run it well, I think on the road here, they can cover when everyone else has this team counted out. I'm willing to jump in here because I do think this line's a little inflated. So I'll be taking the Broncos at plus 6.5. All right, those are my 3 favorite plays for NFL Sunday. It's a bit of an underwhelming slate, I will admit. That's why we're attacking some of these player props here. And they have been good to us so far this season. If you guys are looking for more plays on Sunday, definitely drop me a follow on Twitter. And of course, we'll be live 11 a.m. Eastern time on the OwnersBox Sports Twitch account. That link will be down below. Again, 11 a.m. Eastern. We'll be running through each and every game on the slate, talking about these matchups, anything from a fantasy perspective, betting perspective that we might add to the card. So we'd love if you guys joined us there. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you on the next one.